and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hanflo, Michael Sidgwick, to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Man Now Now. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Monday Night Raw, but also Friday Night SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2. But AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, they're joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to review last night's Raw. Not great.
No. Troubling news. Monday Night Raw is probably not going to be the best show of the week this week. I was really disappointed by this. The best character I think they've got going at the moment had a good night. But other than that, I think most things flattered to deceive a little bit here. We were previewing the show yesterday with it didn't feel like it was like a big setup show. And then watching it, it absolutely did.
Yeah.
It felt like short on big, noteworthy moments. And I don't know, I just think Raw's been fantastic for them lately. It was so weird to come in this morning and say, Sidge, it feels weird today because I was so disappointed by Raw last night. And that was used to be every Tuesday, forever.
That was pretty boring. It was a fairly boring episode of television. I wasn't excited watching it. I don't think the intricate storytelling of late that has wowed me realistically was there, nor was the in-ring. It's a boring 3 hours all told. Some cringe that I want to laugh at, though.
Yeah, good bit of that.
It felt they were just sort of treading water ahead of Crown Jewel, like all the big stuff to set that up was going to be. I mean, they added a match to it, obviously, but I think most of the stuff is going to happen next week, you assume. And it was just kind of a Raw by numbers in terms of
3 hours of it as well.
Cody Judgment Day, Jay, some combination of that to close out the show as always.
Every week.
Yeah. Speaking of which, to start the show, out comes Damian Priest and Finn Balor, and of course,
they're in the Judgment Day.
Yeah. And the easy side.
and I got it right.
And the easy side. Rusted glaze.
They're very happy about regaining the tag titles, of course, from Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes from last week. Priest says the rest of the Judgment Day are out taking care of business in the back. And they're gloating, basically. But here comes Cody Rhodes. Gets a great reaction, of course. He says, I've got some choice words for the leader of the Judgment Day. But Rhea Ripley's not here. He says, I know you say that there's no leader in the Judgment Day.
She was all over the show.
But maybe
she was.
Maybe it's not just Dom. Maybe Rhea's your mammy too. She pulls the strings. She calls the shots. She cut the deals, including one with the Bloodline. And then he says, by the way, I haven't forgotten, Damian, about the low blow you gave me last week. It's not going to be the final shot in this fight. Damian Priest's like, don't forget I put you through a table. And Priest says, what are you going on about with this whole story thing? I've no idea what that is. All I can see is one of you failing all the time. And Rhodes is like, let's have a bare-knuckle fight then. Priest is like, come on, you know I've got a match tonight against Jay. But how about a match at Crown Jewel? And Cody Rhodes accepts, but he's like, I still want to fight tonight. And Priest is like, you know what? That's fine by me, because here comes Rhea Ripley and Dirty Dom for the numbers advantage, if it wasn't already there with Finn Balor in the ring with him, of course. But Jey Uso runs out to attack Dom from behind. Rhodes goes after Priest. Finn Balor, unbeknownst to us, slides out and takes out Jay. And Rhodes looks like he's going to finally get revenge on Priest and set him through the announce table. But here comes JD McDonough to chop block him from behind, and they wrap the chair around Rhodes' ankle and Pillmanize it, standing tall as the opening segment ends.
There was very little to this other than what it kind of gave you at the end of the show, and Cody being one of them old school guys enough to make you really enjoy watching him sell this ankle injury. An ankle's a good limb to have a problem with in matches. Cody's going to be kind of amazing at this. Like, it's given Damian Priest a target at Crown Jewel. It's probably, knowing Cody, you feel like it's going to be one of these things that's going to linger now. It's like a Matt Jackson's back type thing, where it's going to be seen as something that all the heels going forward can go for, because he's not quite 100% and all that. Otherwise, so in terms of setting that up, and probably lots of things to come, great in a pro wrestling sense, but otherwise this was a bit listless, I thought. Like, Jey Uso didn't get this kind of like white hot reaction that he's been receiving lately when he can't make the save, which does so much to elevate these. When you see that all the wrestlers are really like hot and the crowd are with them, that elevates some often like some sort of fairly rote and basic material into being something more, and they just weren't with him here. A bit more in the match, but a bit too basic bitch stuff, this.
For you?
Yeah, even for me. Even for
Really?
me. Yeah.
Jesus. Aye, it's fine. The selling, I like. I like Cody's selling. I think he's very good at it. It's very effective in the arena. It got the desired reaction. People were kind of laughing at the walk later.
Aye. It's not quite as oh my goodness, I fell down after the Brock Lesnar attack, is it? But he's got them in him.
He's got them. I love him, and ultimately it's effective.
The match, I think, will rule when he's selling that.
Oh, his
foot's going to be hanging off in it.
He's absolutely incredible at selling, but he's got that walk. It got memed, so it's as good as he is. He's not like Terry Funk.
No.
No one is though, so that's fine.
My dad, who would watch wrestling like in passing when I had it on all the time as a kid, still ask like, how's Brett's leg? Is it recovered? Because Brett just always had this pronounced my leg, always with a limp.
Yeah,
been attacked by anyone, always with a limp. Cody's got a little bit of that in him, hasn't he?
My missus just laughs out loud whenever I watch. Whenever it's like, don't come in. Like whenever anything's happening, she cannot abide. She cannot sanction selling in pro wrestling. She just cannot do it.
I love that. Like that's how
She
cliche.
just laughs, just pisses herself laughing at the thing I have an emotional attachment to.
Like cliched sitcom, but like loved ones, parents, whatever. Don't open the door. Don't open the door. They walk in. It's just raw.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm 38 and I'm playing Subutio. You can't do it. It's just the thing that I watch.
So they run down the card.
They think it's pornography, but no, it's not. It's raw.
Michael Cole.
It's pretty porn.
It's both to me most weeks.
Michael Cole says, "Hey, you should have some big moments in here." Wade. Barrett talks about winning season 1 of NXT and beating John Cena at Hell in a Cell, and Cole's like, "Don't forget New Day retired you here, arsehole."
Yeah, bit of a dig, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that was to lead into, of course, the New Day taking on Chad Gable and Tazar was the latest recruit to Alpha Academy. We saw a bit of that last week, and this would play out later on in the show. Fun match. Not really much to tell you about here. They're all great wrestlers, so it was what it was. Gable and Otis hit like a Steinerizer on Xavier Woods. Kingston breaks up the cover, kicks Gable out of the ring. Otis hits Kingston with the Caterpillar. Woods fights back and tries like a reverse Caterpillar almost, but Gable grabs him and puts him in an ankle lock. Eventually, New Day work together on Otis. Kingston hits him with Trouble in Paradise and takes out Gable with a big flip dive. And Woods hits Otis with a flying elbow drop for the 1-2-3.
It's just a match, and like a couple of things there. Chad Gable doesn't have them very often, so that was a bit disappointing. But I think this was like, I'll put this failure down to Triple H booking it in the first place. Like for all it, like it's on SmackDown at the moment, for example, you've got the Brawling Brutes and Pretty Deadly. It's relatively low stakes, but the idea is it's quite fun, and whoever wins moves up these hypothetical rankings and might get close to a tag shot. You know, that should be the case here. But both of these teams have been quite over lately as well-received babyfaces. So I think you immediately split the crowd. And as we've said a million times, about a million shows, good wrestling's not just enough. You can't, like, sometimes you can. Bryan Danielson and select others, maybe. You can send out there to have just a great match and pull people in as if it's the culmination of a 6-month-long story. But a lot of the time, the crowds won't just give you that, like, desired response because the work's good. We're long past the point where that's enough. The atmosphere was flat and there was no, I don't know, I didn't feel any sense of tension between the two. And I don't know, it's made me reflect on like the Triple H, these tag matches, at least the pairings have been quite good. So like when it was the Viking Raiders and the New Day, well, it's like the Viking Raiders are very obviously heels and they're dangerous and the New Day are kind of under threat by them. I didn't get any of that from this. I'm just staring at moves.
It was just a knockabout bit of fun, wasn't it? And they were mates again afterwards. I don't know why they booked this or why they're doing this. The longer this goes on, the more I start to doubt whether Chad Gable's going to be the one to defeat Gunther.
I'm a little bit worried about
Have they dropped that thread? Was there any mention tonight of, I'll still want to get him one day?
Not really. And Maxine Dupree thinks Tozawa's a total loser. So is that sort of suggesting that like Gable wanting to bring him in and being a nice guy is now that's being questioned too?
Wait a minute, are you suggesting that Triple H wants to book some dissension within a stable?
You bringing that one up is like Wilborn on the run up to a big joke. Like whenever there's like, wait a second.
Wait a second.
I think the game's got this idea that he loves.
It wasn't even that fun. It wasn't fun nor good, this.
No. Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing.
What's your like Geordie phrase?
Neither nout nor summit.
There we go. Jackie Redmond interviews Becky Lynch, asking why she's going to defend her title on back-to-back nights. And Becky says,
Fighting champion.
Indy Hartwell never got the chance.
Because I'll win them both.
Indy Hartwell never got the chance to regain her title, and that's what this is all about. A chance for people to show what they're made of. I know.
Nice bit of continuity.
I love Becky Lynch, I love this character.
I know that Lyra Valkyria is here tonight, but I can't look past Hartwell. And she tells Hartwell, welcome to the big time, whilst I think it was Xia Li, I assume it was, lurks in the background.
Oh, God, hold the phone for the Emmys. Someone's in the background. God, he loves this, doesn't he?
Might get picked up on next week if you're lucky.
It's like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
It's also like hidden an inch from your nose.
Say the ones you forgot to hide.
Aye.
The kids just walk in the room, there's a giant chocolate egg. I told you to move that.
Normally there'd be something that I was like, oh, let's skip past this. It's just a boring video package. It might be just because we're on an ad break on Peacock or whatever. But it's for Ivar and he kicks ass, so I'll watch this.
Right. I mean, this was not for me, but...
Hang on, what are you talking about?
The little video package with
Ivar's
Valhalla and Ivar.
He's a Viking warrior. Like, it's got Valhalla building him up as being... He used to be a mere man, but now recently he's ascended to that of the gods, and all men should run in fear and all that. And there's like 300 Vikings around. And rah! So check out on whatculture.com/WWE Scott Carlson's ups and downs, because he makes the very valid point that, like, there's lots of television and film centered around, like, Norse mythology, and there's lots of evidence just a lot of people like this. So
yeah, I went to Bebenberg a while back.
Right.
It's part of the, what's the Last Kingdom, is it?
What?
Bamborough Castle is called Bebenberg in that. So I went to visit that as a result of it. And I used to have been watching loads of it. I don't really know a lot about it, but...
So yeah, people love this.
Proving his point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help him.
Thank you.
Anything.
He's an ungrateful bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I am. And
We really are.
Wade Barrett. It cuts back to Wade Barrett. He's basically like, yeah. So he's 350 pounds of muscle, and the locker room should be worried. So then you're like, right, hang on. He's got like an army of Vikings around him, and he's like, got the powers of fire. And then you sort of imagine him walking with his like wheelie suitcase into the locker room, like, out my way, scrub. It's like, is he a wrestler, or is he like a shoot monster that can breathe fire as a god? It belonged on NXT, not Raw. I've been enjoying Ivar, but...
Give him a title shot against Gunther for me.
Yes.
But
In a Viking rules match.
like Valhalla...
Proper one, though, with a boat.
It needs a boat.
I want him to chop the front off the boat, or take the head off the... What does it have? The dragon at the front of the boat or whatever?
Valhalla put like her fingers on his face. Like, extra power. She put fingers in goo, and then she was like, give you more goo powers. That was what happened, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it was
Just a bit of theatre.
Normally I'd be like, oh, not bothered about this, but I love Ivar at the moment, so I'll allow it. I like him.
This is not what you like.
context.
What do you like?
Context is everything, Sidge.
All right, Bischoff. Christ. Never work you out. You're like a puzzle.
Thanks.
Rhea Ripley approaches Seth Rollins in the back. She basically offers Judgment Day as insurance
You could have
against...
called me Rubik's Cube. There was a free hit there like this.
Rubik's Cube's got colour and you're very grey.
He's back. He's back.
She basically offers...
It's like TNA. We're back.
Judgment Day's insurance against Drew McIntyre, and he says, lost faith in Priest, have you? And is that why you've been making all these deals? He says, I know why you'd want the world champion, but why would I want you? And she says, well, alliances can change. Maybe if you join us, maybe Priest cashes in on someone else and we've got all the titles. Without us, you'll never have a title reign like Roman Reigns, especially with that dodgy back of yours. We could have you back and make people acknowledge you. And Rollins takes his shades off and he says, I don't want to be anything like Roman Reigns. She says, well, wasn't a no. Think about it.
You know what one of my least favourite things is?
WWE Raw.
And I keep doing this. You know what I just mildly dislike? If I just everything, I do hate everything. Like, I do.
We've been on YouTube like 2 weeks. See, like one of them extreme internet guys with the reactions.
Yeah.
I saw like somebody tweet that Gary Lineker's had to become one. I podcast something says like you're one of the greatest strikers of all time, but now you've got to go on YouTube and go stinky tackles.
You know what I mildly dislike? I mildly dislike it. I think Triple H has got the life of f***ing Larry, hasn't he? Because all he has to do is do a coherent 7 out of 10 TV show and everyone just bows down to the king, okay?
Keep talking.
And I don't know if this is still going on now that Ari Emanuel has, sword of Damocles him.
He's kind of put him over, isn't he?
A little bit.
He's like, out the way, Dad.
So I don't know if this still goes on, right? But whenever Triple H does something that goes from really good to pretty bland, and when he finally does something that's just nonsense, like he gets away with it. Oh, Vince is back, I see. Having said that, there was some of the dialogue and choices and stuff that's going on in the ether. And I think, I don't know, is Vince back? And then I went, no, come to my senses. No, Triple H has also got a puerile sense of humor. He's also fond of wacky, crap, gentle comedy and intense, stilted dialogue. Yeah.
Of which this was.
Yeah.
I like, the only thing I like from this, because, again, I think the Judgment Day, whose side of the on stuff worked much better later on.
Yes.
With Drew. Everything centered around Drew was so much better than everything centered around everybody else.
Great, yeah.
I do like when Seth Rollins is kind of reminded that Roman Reigns exists, because I think there's both like a work and a shoot reason to keep that in the conversation. He never lost to Roman in this big long streak that Roman's had, and there was a while when he kept bringing that up that he was a little bit bitter. And there's a good dose of reality there, isn't there? It's like
He wants to be Roman.
yeah. Look how like the other guy left and drew in another company. Look at Roman Reigns. You know, right? Like, everything's a hair ruffle with Seth Rollins, isn't it? I quite like that when those two are mentioned together, because I still think there's money in that match one day.
He's got that drive. He's always wanted to be the Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Indy Hartwell's getting ready backstage with Candice LeRae, and then Sally shows up. She offers some advice, wishes her luck, and Bird Person's there at ringside for the next match. If you're wondering what on earth we're talking about there, check out the NXT preview and review pods. What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from. It was time for the NXT Women's Championship match. Indy Bloody Hartwell challenging Becky Lynch. The announcers talk about the strength advantage that Indy has, and she sends Lynch into the barricade to take us to a break.
What?
Hartwell hits a diving elbow to the back for a 2 count when we come back. She cuts off Lynch's comeback. Big boot gets another near fall. She goes up top, but Lynch hits her with a superplex. Goes for an armbar, but Hartwell hoists her up and hits a powerbomb for 2 and then gets another 2 count off a spinebuster. They trade some cradles until Lynch counters a boot and puts her in the disarmer for the submission victory. Post-match, they shake hands. Lynch has a quick face-off with Lyra Valkyria, who she'll face at NXT.
You forgot your gimmick.
Forgot a thing in it. Do that later. And LeRae's watching in the back, and Xia Li just decks her and says that's a warning to everyone, effectively.
Quite poor and really heatless, this.
No one cared about Indy Hartwell, but they had no reason to care about her.
Yeah, again, like ultimately punished here for not really. I don't mind she deserves a shot. She never lost the title, but that's a reason for the match to take place. That's not a reason for people to care about Indy Hartwell. Those are different things. This has been somebody's remembered and thought, oh, we'll do that. Like
they're cramming them in, aren't they? Whilst Becky's champ.
That can be a TV match in a couple of weeks. That's fine. But as a result, they kind of not the wrestlers. Like WWE, Triple H, whoever, got what they deserved with the reaction to this, and the match just wasn't up to snuff. Becky Lynch did okay in it, but Indy Hartwell I think she had a bad night, truthfully, because this was an opportunity to, even though you're getting beaten, like get over in front of a crowd in the first proper opportunity she's had to do it. There's been nothing for her since she's been called up, and it didn't go that well for me.
I mean, it was heatless and no one cared. And when no one cares and there's that many people to not care, it really creates this sort of bleak juxtaposition that I can never really, I just feel like, ugh. I feel nothing, really. Maybe a little bit sad. Yeah. I've got this weird fondness for the way. It's like my secret my secret shame.
We needed the way. Triple H was giving us nothing else.
Yeah, he's giving nothing else.
Late 2020, we kind of needed the way.
Kind of need the way.
One of the only successful weddings in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Because the groom brought an axe.
Went off without a hitch.
Yeah.
You know, they got hitched. I don't know the expression. This match was not very good. It was tepid and heatless. However, it's still a measure of how really good Becky Lynch is, because there was some really quite fluid, like, submission attempts and stuff, whereas there's a treacly quality to a lot of Indy's work in NXT. I'm trying to be nice to Becky Lynch. It's the only possible positive I can take from this. Wilborn, what was next on the show?
Well, it was a contract signing, but prior to that, Postman Pierce is back there with security. Here comes Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, of course. Aldis basically tries to smooth things over for what happened on SmackDown with escorting Pierce out of the building, says, look, we got off on a wrong foot. I made a rookie error by doing what I did.
You could do a match, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
People were talking about that on the news yesterday, yeah?
Yeah.
Just want friendly competition. Please accept my apology.
You love it. You love the Fed.
I'm conflicted on this. This specifically, I'm conflicted on this.
Pierce says, look, I know what it's like to be the new guy. Water under the bridge. Why don't you stick around on Raw and watch how it's done? And they shake hands. And afterwards, Pierce tells the referee, double the security guards for tonight.
Can I just say, I think the idea of Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis making their respective in-ring debuts together in the same match, I think it's kind of, I think it's pretty inspired. It'd be so weird.
They've got NWA Championship law.
Yes.
They were kind of the guys forced to hold down a dead brand.
No one will expect anything from them reasonably. Yeah. I just think this is a pretty cool idea. Honestly, I think it's not bad at all.
It's this I like, genuinely. And I watching these two together.
Sound like Daniel Tiger there.
I don't want Raw versus SmackDown in any other, like...
Postman Pierce versus Roman Reigns. When's that come in?
That
promised that.
That was, we at WhatCulture.com promised that for a week. We got some good thumbnails out of it. I want that. Exactly what Cedric said. I like these two together. I don't want this to go beyond that. I don't need, especially because Survivor Series is so close and we only just got rid of Brand Warfare last year. I don't need guys in T-shirts for a long time.
I don't need it ever again.
Maybe not ever again. But I do love the Fed, so maybe at some point I want it back.
If they're going to do it, it has to have stakes, doesn't it? I'm not suggesting that they should, but if they're going to do it, it can't just be...
We used to talk about...
Well, Red wins the night, and then nothing happens.
Let's do it at Mania. Don't do it... Like, there's 2 nights of Mania. This would be like a really unique attraction. I'm not talking about Survivor Series. Build this thing. Build and build and build and build it for months, with the idea being that, you're screwing over my show. You've jeopardized my main event. We had this deal to bring someone over. You left this wrestler vulnerable. They got attacked by Arthur Raw, so probably the Judgment Day. You've been with keep a really sort of hostile, Cold War of sorts between Pierce, and then do it at WrestleMania.
They might have even dropped a hook for that from the very beginning when Triple H said, "I'm giving you promotion. I'm taking half your work off you and giving it to somebody else." Like Adam Pearce rightfully could down the line say, I knew what was happening there. I was basically being told I wasn't good enough. And apparently you're better at it, even though you've not done a day's work at this before. There's ways to get there. It's the time of year.
Not Survivor Series. I never want to see that.
I don't want to see a 5-on-5, even with stakes, even the winning 5 gets the last 5 Rumble spots.
I don't hate that. I
ways
hate
to make
that.
it better.
Don't tell people who the last 5 people are going to be. I think it's dumb.
Do it at Mania.
I don't even want the team match. I want these 2.
I'm not saying anything about a team.
No, that's what I mean. It's just, you see this and you think, is this...
What was it, Team Johnny and Team Teddy?
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Torres kicking people in the cock.
Don't need any more of that.
2012 was goated.
Do you mean that? We've talked about this before. You have a fondness for 2012.
It's just in a really good place.
You got a birthday cake?
Huh?
You got a WWE birthday cake or something that your wife made you? I feel like I've seen that. Have I imagined
with
that?
Brian and CM Punk.
I love that. I love
the submissions.
Cedric and the Fed. For 1 year.
For 2012, I was just bang into it for some reason. Just bang into the Fed in 2012.
Is that the first year of 3-hour Raws?
Yeah, it was.
More Fed.
Just Lesnar, Bryan, and Punk being able to be the best versions of themselves. It would never hold up now, but at the time it was exhilarating.
I was clinging on for TNA at the time. Slammiversary that year was really good. Slammiversary 10. I thought, here we go, 10 years. Really time to push it on.
Yeah.
1 year later. Never watched it again. Ever.
Well, now.
And now it's back. Now the power's back.
There's time for the contract signing. Loads of security out there. Postman Pierce talking about how the women's division's been a bit chaotic lately. Normally, you wouldn't reward that type of behavior, but we sell things in the ring. And he introduces the title challenges one at a time, which honestly saved me loads of time watching this morning. Because I was like, right, walk down to the ring, sign the contract, go and stand in the corner. Raquel, Shayna, Zoe, Nia. Jack sort of hesitates because the champ isn't there, Rhea Ripley. And Pierce is like, oh, don't worry, I'll get it to sign later. I like the fact that Barrett went, they haven't even bothered with the table here. They know what's coming. Rhea Ripley does come out. She's not happy with Pierce. She says, I think I'm being set up, and I'm going to make your life a living hell. All you're doing, actually, though, is ensuring this women's division's got 4 fewer women in it. I'll prove I'm the most dominant woman in WWE because Mammy's always on top. Nia Jax grabs the mic from Pierce, and the crowd react accordingly. And she says, you're smart. You you want me to squash each of these women? And then she goes around and does it to each of them. And then she says to Raquel, who's from Texas, of course, you're kind of thick, so I'll really explain this out to you. And she just basically says, incredibly slowly, she wants me to squash you for her. And so Rodriguez chins her. It all kicks off. Security hit the ring. They separate everyone. Brawl breaks out. Ripley's just loving with all this. Rodriguez and Jax stand tall, so all the guards try and separate them even more. But Rodriguez breaks through, clothesline Jax, but Jax bounces off the ropes and hits her with a Samoan drop. All the while, Ripley smiles and waves at Jax. Chaos!
Is Nia Jax good?
I don't know.
I think Nia Jax is at once bad and effective.
Yeah.
Because when she was doing that voice, someone punch her. Please.
And somebody did.
Someone did.
It's like,
yeah, good.
Yeah. I liked the detail. Like it was Wade Barrett, wasn't it? Who brought it about the table. I like that. This idea, that's this whole story, isn't it? That like they just want to fight each other all the time. So like this, it's one of the first times that WWE have acknowledged that the contract signing is really just something that's getting in the way of a fight. So they just pretty much want to let them fight. So I thought
You acknowledge the invisible camera as well.
Yeah.
On this show.
So like that's this story. So I sort of thought that was quite nicely done. It's the Nia Jax conundrum. I don't know.
I don't know.
It effectively drew heat. And it kind of justified the brawl. They didn't look like complete morons.
The brawl actively sucked.
Oh, it was
by the way.
terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like, you know when sometimes they all fight and the champion's like, my devious plan works. There's another character off the right. You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, there should have been that. But
Didn't I?
Yeah. But we've seen these fighting all the time.
Yeah.
So you can sort of buy it. It's not bad. Like, Nia Jax has been a net positive to Raw, I think.
Maybe.
All right. Maybe. We'll see. See how the match goes.
Ludwig Kaiser is backstage with Giovanni Vinci and reminds him we're going to take out Johnny Gargano tonight. Bronson Reed shows up and says, I enjoyed facing Gunther toe-to-toe last week. I'm ready for round 2. Kaiser's like, you can tell him yourself. And Imperium leaves. And then Akira Tozawa...
That's really funny. That made him look like a complete asshole.
Akira Tozawa shows up and says, I'll have a match. And Reed's like, nah, I'm feeling quite merciful tonight. You're all right. And Tozawa chops him and screams and challenges him again. And Reed says, it's your funeral. And then Maxine Dupri walks in and goes, oh, bloody hell, not him. Gable's not going to be happy.
Isn't he?
I can guess what's coming later, by the way, with this reaction to this setup of this match.
Who knows?
Johnny Gargano versus Giovanni Vinci. The match started. It was only like 2.5 minutes, and about 30 seconds of it was Five Nights at Freddy's promotion. I don't know what that is. I'm not a horror guy. Like an evil teddy bear or something. But Vinci was kind of in control.
Watch Hereditary again.
That's your one, isn't it?
Oh, is that the one you told me the thing about?
Yeah, but don't say it in case.
No.
I didn't think a second time it would have the same power over me.
Yeah.
But it's just such a well-crafted, horrible film. Oh my God, it's horrible.
It's great.
It's unbelievably effective.
Less so now. I've become weak in the face of trauma since having children, but I used to love horror. It used to be my favourite genre.
So Hereditary is a masterpiece.
It is great.
Very few films have evoked the same feelings. It's like a really horrible, not right film. So well done. You're a bit of a bitch, though, aren't you?
Yeah. It's a fair assessment. I just want more what's Ace Ventura doing? That's my thought process.
He's got to be doing some sort of like comeback as well. Like 90s stuff is there now. Like you could see an Ace Ventura film being kept under wraps.
They tried Dumb and Dumber, didn't they?
They
it just
did,
failed badly.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one. I got the vibes of like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not ruining that. It was perfect. I'm not ruining it.
Love that. Don't mess with perfection. What's the perfection? Dumb and Dumber.
Citizen Jim.
But yeah, Giovanni Vinci was in control, and then Kaiser jumped up on the apron, threatening to get in the ring. Ciampa came down and returned, got involved, took him out. Gargano hit Vinci with one final beat and got his first win on Raw since, what did we say, March?
Who cares?
Yeah.
This was fine. Some of the strikes from Gargano were quite meaty.
Why does this feel so rubbish, Sidge? Explain this to me, the guy that is predisposed to loving this. Why does this feel so low stakes garbage?
Because Johnny Gargano has been booked absolutely horrendously. The complete lack of audience investment does not help remotely. before he was booked so terribly on the main roster, his certain style was very, very like intense, and it was a lot, and it's very easy to just never want to go back. It's like a very rich, stodgy blend of like intense, off-putting, very, very earnest, long. I don't know, I just feel like, I'm not saying the guy isn't incredibly talented. I don't want to choose my words. If I'd never seen another Johnny Gargano match after that specific character arc he went on with those specific really long takeover matches, it was just a lot. And I think there's two types of reaction to Johnny Gargano and DIY and all of it. You're either full to the brim, or you've given no reason to care in the first place. And it's this potent cocktail.
I think what's really sad about DIY at present, it's another case of Triple H just assuming that everyone watching Raw, television and in the arena have got all of the lore from NXT.
Yeah.
And they don't, right?
No.
So, but DIY's lore, before they became a total parody, was really effective. So these two people fight in a tournament, develop mutual respect, could fray at any moment, and are underdogs because of that. That's really rich, textured stuff for this babyface come up that they went on against the Revival. You are watching every single match, feeling the tension of every missed tag, every time that like Gargano inadvertently hits Ciampa, but you want them to succeed, but you're also just as nervous that is he going to kill him tonight, or are they actually going to win the belts? Enormous stakes, like the total extremes, like, and that was so powerful and effective, them getting as over as they did. And then
It's just too much.
and they've never even touched that. At this point, it's just old friends coming together to lose. So were you ever effective? So it's complete strangers, this act. Were you ever effective in the first place if you kind of look like you suck most weeks? Like, it's just been disappointing. And the match will be great, but is like that's not necessarily enough. Like I say, that comes up on every show. Great wrestling. Yeah. Great wrestling isn't enough.
We get a video for Shinsuke Nakamura. A brutal beating from him was a beautiful thing, and he was so happy to give Ricochet this experience. I really enjoyed that match the other week. He said he was looking for a new opponent who would inspire the yet-to-be-seen self within him, who is worthy enough to set me free.
Yeah, Sidge, that's right. Shin's back.
Yeah.
Catch you up.
Oh, God. Who's writing this episode?
That-
Like,
so-
seriously, who's writing this?
It's terrible. Terrible scripting. Subtitles sticking around is good.
Yeah.
I think Shinsuke Nakamura just about was worthy of sticking with. I think he did enough over the course of the Seth and the Ricochet stuff to make you think, oh, right, maybe he's not completely given up. But this next feud, whoever's going to answer this question is basically his acid test. I think like if the matches are decent, then I stick with him. But otherwise, he was a 1 month title guy, not much more.
They went for 2 months.
Yeah.
Right, here comes Logan Paul. He gets booed out of the building and says, Dallas, Texas, wow, so much love. I really like him. I think he's a brilliant bell end, basically. He talks about that loser Dylan Dennis being dropped by his fight league. Must have sucked to be that guy. He's a free agent now, but so's Logan Paul. And he says, when I beat Rey Mysterio for the US title, I'll give everyone something to talk about. Maybe I'll even defend it on Monday Night Raw. As we anticipated on the preview, here comes Dominic Mysterio to a huge reaction. Mainly boos, but some applause from Logan Paul. Usual stuff here. You can't hear what Dom's saying. But Paul puts him over, saying, look, you overcame your deadbeat dad. You became the champion of an entire continent. And then he remembers, oh, wait a second, I'm on Raw. That means my favorite ring announcer's here. Samantha Irvin. He's like, come on, get in the ring. She's like, no, I'm fine. He's like, come on, you deserve your flowers for everything you did for this organization. And she reluctantly gets in there, and he's like, I know how hard it was for you to, announce me as the winner over your fiance Ricochet, but you did it because you're a professional. How about a preview of Crown Jewel? How about you announce me as the new United States champion? Before anything can happen there, though, here comes Ricochet. He tackles Logan Paul. Dom tries to help, so Ricochet decks him. Goes for a dive on Paul, but Dom gets in his way again, and Ricochet's about to go for something big off the top when Paul pulls him out of the ring, and Ricochet checks on his fiancée.
Love this. Genuinely love this. Didn't expect to either. Thought this was going to be, at best, a bit of a knockabout with Dominic and Logan Paul. Ricochet as a Dominic Mysterio challenger and a former North American champion at that is quite a good NXT match.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need it for Raw, but I think that's going to be really fun on NXT. He did. It's Ricochet, man. Like, I wish he was everything WWE wanted because the moves are always exceptional. He did a shooting star press, and even as Dominic was being pulled, pivoted to land on his feet and roll through it. That's the most incredible thing you've ever seen. And
he's unbelievable.
And it happens as part of like a saved beatdown attempt. That's what Ricochet's got in his locker. Like, the animosity felt real, the way they shot it and the way he struck from the blind side, like you, the viewer's blind side, coming from the as if like he was just watching a monitor. What's he frigging doing with her? And he's ran from the back straight away. So I thought that came across as really authentic. Samantha Irvin was pretty good in Raw. She's super popular online. So this was good use of Logan Paul being... They came across like real arseholes, the two of them.
Great duo, aren't they?
Horrible.
I'd love them to tag at some point.
Buzzing for Ricochet to make the save, and I think there's like a good match at the end of this. You've set up a great babyface heel dynamic with Ray and Logan Paul as well.
That'd be fantastic. Dom and Logan versus Ray and Ricochet.
Yeah, tremendous.
Sounds like fun. This is okay. They are making an attempt to get the most out of Ricochet. It feels like a project that Triple H really wants to get right. I'm not enormously convinced that it's really clicking. Like, he didn't get this mega pop for defending the honor of his girl or anything like that. But, between this week and last, they are obviously trying to humanize him and making him this, supernatural athlete at the same time. So they're trying to push him into new territory and showcase what he's, unbelievable at between this week and last. I don't know, maybe it will work. They are trying, though.
He nailed it in NXT, didn't he? So he must be thinking he can do it again. I thought the presentation of Ricochet in NXT was virtually flawless. Even when he was forced by the main roster to just, he's tag team with Aleister Black now, make that work. It's like, all right then.
Yeah.
There wasn't much he got wrong with Ricochet, but is he just too damaged goods at this point? I don't know.
Yeah, he's not he'll never ever cut a brilliant go-home promo.
No.
He'll never welcome me to Monday Night Raw. He just won't.
No.
Not that kind of guy.
What are the odds on WWE getting Ospreay? There's contract stuff going on right now.
I don't know. But that'd be funny.
Yeah.
I tweeted yesterday that we can all agree it will be funny watching him do episodic TV wherever he ends up. This guy is so unbelievably talented in the ring that I don't necessarily get the best vibe from a Will Ospreay, and yet he just locks me in.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay is really incredibly versatile as an in-ring talent. He can brawl, he can play babyface, he's obviously an unbelievable flyer, he can do some absolutely, he's one of the best technical wrestlers alive. He's an incredible and very versatile talent. In-ring, if I'm Will Ospreay, if I want loads of money, I'll obviously go to WWE. They're going to pay him the most, probably. If he wants to go down as the guy who wrestles the most great matches, go to AEW or stick with New Japan. It all depends on what he wants. The idea of Will Ospreay is unbelievably as he is in the ring, to a point where I almost resent him for being as good as he is. Just watching him do melodrama, it'll be really funny. So I'm hoping he signs with AEW or WWE. Just from a pure Schadenfreude point of view, imagine Will Ospreay doing stuff with the bloodline and trying to emote. Hook it to my veins. It'll be
Hello, Roman. How's it going, bruv?
Put him in.
Can acknowledge me, bruv.
All right, you the ones.
Put him in NXT with Bird Person, Will Ospreay.
Yep.
Just saying. From one ex.
You did just say that.
Yep. From one ex-WCPW talent to another, Piper Niven.
Yeah.
She tagged with Chelsea Green to take on Natalia. And Nikki Cross. What's wrong with Nikki Cross?
She's been giddy.
She's crazy, but she's not her usual crazy self. She just sort of came out there, shuffled out, blank look on her face, and then got bored and left during the match, basically. Natalia tried fighting on. She tried to put on a sharpshooter, but she's rubbish at doing it. And then Green hit with the running prettier, and Niven hit her with the running crossbody for the 1, 2, 3.
This is funny.
It is.
This
funny.
is funny stuff. You're meant to be chilled to the bone.
Yeah.
By the unsettling presence that is Nikki Cross what's going on internally. What what storm is going on inside.
I thought Sanity was back, but she's lost hers.
Yeah, honestly, God damn it, this is so cringeworthy. What an absolute Lanny Poffo deal, though. She's barely in the ring. She gets paid what I assume to be like very tidy sums of money to just stand in the background of shots.
Is she doing like some business degree as well?
Yes.
She's kicking ass. Like she's taking Fed money and like bettering herself when she's not being used. It's like you've nailed it. That's the way to do this.
Really good work. Like it's a good worker, but like she's an extra being paid star money. That's what a sweet gig.
It's the deal. The Natalia thing's really funny because this is not as cruel a dig as some of yours against Natalia, but these backstage
in character, she's not rubbish and she's just she got outworked.
There was that 2014 match against Charlotte. Backstage when she's like, "Come on, guys, let's band together," and whatever the problem is that week. Like, I can't tell if she's gonna turn heel on these women or she's actually trying to rally the locker room. So then, if they're trying to cast her as a babyface, she's being left alone by Nikki Cross being corrupted. You're supposed to no, not Natalia. She's the heart and soul of this locker room. But is that what I'm supposed to think?
I don't care.
Good. She's getting her just desserts for being like a scumbag backstage. I don't get it.
So in storyline, did she say, I've got a tag match later with Tegan's injured? Obviously, they referenced that earlier on. Tegan's injured. I've got a tag match booked with Chelsea and Piper. Win that. Get a title shot maybe. So no Tegan. No Indy. Thank God, though. Candice LeRae's right there. And then Candice gets taken out by Xia Li. I mean, she only got bumped. It wasn't like completely taken out of action. And she was just like, Nikki, do you want to do it? And Nikki just looked at her and she went, well, I suppose it's not a no. Follow me.
Yeah, and that's how she'd end up at ringside. Or was Nikki Cross bang game for it, got out to ringside, was in the presence of the cursed belts.
Oh,
and now she's been cursed.
The Unholy Union.
The Unholy Union. Of cast a spell, Sidgwick, on the women's tag belts, and now Nikki Cross in the presence of them, she was the most susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Piper Niven and Chelsea Green are immune. We know this already, that's law. They've confirmed that. So now Nikki Cross is like, now I am in the presence of the...
Why doesn't Natalia give a then?
Because the curse is broadly entertaining and she's immune to that. Like, I don't know, but like, it's Nikki that's the most... We've seen in the past...
I can't believe we've spent this long on this.
We've seen in the past, Nikki was part of Sanity. She believed herself to be a superhero. Yeah. Like, all ain't well.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
And the
and
Unholy
that's who
Union.
those people target.
They did say, look out on SmackDown. They had that video package, the Unholy Union of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
We can confirm this was really good stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Speaking of really good stuff, Drew McIntyre.
Yes,
God,
okay.
I love him.
Yeah.
He goes up to Jey Uso in the back, and Jey's like, and Drew says, I'm so sorry about what happened last week, mate. I can't possibly imagine what it must be like to lose a title because of the bloodline. But hey, get over it. Amazing. Brilliant. And he says, by the way, let's not forget.
He's my spirit animal.
He's like, by the way...
Such a petty dickhead. It's me. It's me.
Don't forget that
McIntyre.
Yeah.
Don't forget that my match with Sami Zayn wouldn't be happening if you hadn't come to Monday Night Raw. So whatever happens to Sami Zayn, that's on you as well. What a knobhead. Great.
It's just him being the guy that weighs weeks and keeps receipts.
Yes.
It's super, isn't it? I'm waiting weeks to really chew you out at work, Jey Uso.
I love that though. Just like, oh mate, that must absolutely suck. But hey, get over it.
I love it, man. Like petty revenge. I love it so much. I told you about my story, my trap that I was going to set.
Go on.
And I once got fined by having my ticket had expired on the weekly.
Yes. Remember this.
My weekly ticket had expired.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and I had like a proper 80s guy wallet, just like the George Costanza wallet, full of stuff that I would never need. And I thought, you know what? Me being lazy, I thought I had a really good sort of evidence file. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to pull a fast one. Look, this is 3 months worth of tickets weekly. I'm not picking them up off the floor in random stations, all for the purpose of keeping like a fake evidence log to try and get one over.
This will get me out of £3. Yeah.
To try and get one on, you know what I mean? Like I evidently I get the weekly passes every single week. Maybe I should do the work scheme. I'm too lazy. Hence why I've got this amount of weekly passes. I obviously get it. I'm not trying to do this. Like, I'm not trying to pull a fast one.
No.
Please do not fine me £50 for the 1 week I forgot. For the 1 week I forgot. Yeah, nothing I can do. All right, okay. That's what I was going to do. I've never seen this one since. I was going to get like a ticket, right? The previous week's ticket and try and feed it through, right? And for it to fail on purpose for this guy to go, you're at it again, aren't you? At what? Because I've just got a weekly pass. What are you suggesting of me? Huh? Huh?
And then would you
Huh?
maybe like...
Well, can I speak to your supervisor, please? I don't think I want to be spoken to like that.
And then maybe, I don't know, would you... I know it's early in the morning.
This is what I think about. Just imagine you, like the very slow moving escalator, like your head just peering over the top. Is he here today? Me a cat.
And then maybe, I know you're in a rush, it's busy morning, but maybe would you like check what time it was or...
Yeah, and I'd say, hey, guy.
Time to sing, mate, yeah.
Very briefly once had a metro ticket where the printer hadn't worked. And it was a golden ticket. It was one, remember the old yellow ones? There's still all white.
Yes!
There was no date printed on it. It was blank. I held on to that thing for months and months and months. And like I used to get off at Regent
Don't
Centre.
admit to committing fraud.
I was gutted. Like got off at used to get off at Regent Centre where there was no gates.
Yeah.
So like anytime there was a ticket check, I was like, it's come out of the machine. Wait. Like it only happened once, twice as well. They weren't as stringent back then. And friggin' they put the machines in at Central and it swallowed it.
Oh.
And then like the guy opened it up, and then I'm having that like awkward where I'm terrified of confrontation. So I would have wanted to do your thing and be like, well, what's it done to damage my ticket, sir? But I was like, I don't know what's going on. Let me see you later. Just ran away. Lost it. He just said, this must have been yeah, I got it today. Yeah. And away it went. Love them little yellow tickets.
Yeah.
Better time.
Always was. Everything was better then.
Love the pass me.
Pastor's absolutely
That's so good.
The thing is about it's great, but obviously if you go too far back in the past, what's the problem?
There's no banter. I don't think there was banter in the past.
Yeah.
Have
we got a year? If we got a year, we could
I'm
like...
a huge fan of Monty Python, but I think if you said today, lads, check this out. I mean, and this is me as well. Funny walk. So
yeah, that's the thing.
Careful, mind, because we've got a lot of American fans.
I know,
in here.
yeah,
Absolutely. Monty Python.
No,
they
my God, you
love
Brits
it.
are so irreverent.
Have you guys seen that spin-off, Fall Tie Towers? John Cleese.
So Monty Python, not good.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
it's of its time.
Arseholes repeating it really ruins it.
Oh, yeah.
George Formby when I'm cleaning windows. You just cannot have banter, and that coexisting is like a thing. You
Like,
cannot. There cannot.
Huge pop when I'm cleaning windows. Like
That's the
crowd
thing.
goes
Like,
wild.
imagine.
What did you do?
When I'm cleaning windows.
Can you imagine? Like people go, he's cleaning windows. You know what I mean? Like the cannot have been banter.
See what I could see.
It means tits, George.
Therefore,
Is that what
comma.
it's about?
Therefore, comma. There can't have been banter in the past.
Yeah.
We need to work out the year when banter started.
It's
Python was the 70s, so we saying post-Python or not? Alternative comedy was earlier. That feels like banter.
that feels like banter's major label debut.
Yes. So we're at late 70s where the 80s alternative comedy circuit was like bubbling under in the late 70s.
And then it went. And then it went.
Is
big.
banter punk?
I think banter's like banter.
Like
The banter is
punk's not banter.
late 70s, early 80s
Yeah.
invention.
Any banter and carry on camping and that sort of thing?
No, there's no banter in Carry On. That's what like classed as a high art and British comedy classics.
I love those like.
Oh, Peggy Mitchell's bras falling
I
off.
love those talking heads where they're like, we're going to rank the 100 best comedy moments, and then just because they're old, they're like,
Oh yeah, we'll have to put this in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Or all the bloody Ofcom will never hear the f***ing end of it.
There's like just this like really grainy like mid-50s BBC footage. You see like the Pathé thing in the corner. It's just some like guy in a suit speaking from sea pronunciation. And then we won the war. And then like the crying thing. And it's like there's some like Barry Cryer, like legend, R.I.P. But he's like, that's all we could talk about the next day. Like, as if it was the funniest thing that the BBC had ever broadcast.
You know when you do your bullet points for this, and it's like Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley's making deals. We discovered when banter was invented.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll write that down. We'll
You're welcome. What a find.
Speaking of banter, The Miz.
Die, please. You.
This is great. This was really good.
This is good. It was good.
He is furious that it's like, I'm The Miz, must see superstar, da-da-da-da-da. Nick Aldis wants me, but why am I not on the show, Paul? And Rhea Ripley shows him and goes, oh, by the way, there's your contract. She walks off and the camera follows her, and you hear The Miz go back and go, where's the camera going?
tremendous.
That
I've
actually
needed this for 20 years.
probably big.
I've needed this for like almost a quarter of a century, actually.
Where's the camera going?
Not only is it visible, but it hits you, Mike. That's funny. How'd they do that? How did they do that?
And Ripley's checking on Dom because from what Ricochet
What's
did.
this Miz thing going, or does Triple H just really like burying him? I quite like this Miz. Just cannot get attention, and it's all he's basically fed off it for like 20 years. He just needs 5 minutes to go through his Wikipedia page, and he can't even get that.
Yeah.
Is this going anywhere, or is this like a proper mid-2000s Triple H is going to pedigree London and Kendrick for no reason story where like, he just buries it? Like the Miz is like, finally Miz is getting his chance, and then he gets beat in 4 seconds.
Huh? I mean, it's not bad.
It's all right, isn't
It's
it?
not bad.
I think they should
Not
do
great.
the what was it? Was it Jimmy Kimmel and like Matt Damon or something had the feud? Where he'd be like, later on, we got Matt Damon showing up, and then at the end of the show, he'd be like, sorry, no time for Matt Damon this week. And then they'd cut to like Matt Damon in a ridiculous like setup or outfit. Well, they should do that with The Miz, like, big thing for The Miz tonight. And then like, oh, sorry, that match has gone a bit over, so no time for you, Mike.
And like he thinks he's got like a new sponsorship deal. So every week it's like, we've got this great sponsorship that's going to hot dogs. So he's in a hot dog outfit.
Yes.
And it's just stupider and stupider, and he thinks he's getting a deal. Brings us back to LA Knight again with a Slim Jim sponsorship.
Where's the camera going? I don't know why they tickle me so much.
Oh, God. Like Bryan Danielson could get announced. Oh, no, he has been announced for Dynamite this week. He's got this incredible match.
Yeah.
And you're going to like that Miz moment more than it.
Opposite Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, but the Miz, that's where the camera was. Levels this game.
Literally Homer Simpson. Football to the groin.
So true. One of these things sells tickets.
Drew McIntyre.
I don't make the rules.
Drew McIntyre versus
I wish I did.
Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. This was great, obviously.
So perfect. That tag match could set up like a Wrestle Kingdom dream match. Miz is like, come back here.
he's absolutely loving it. Look at him.
Benny Hill in after the camera.
Benny Hill banner.
No, gross.
No.
I'm just checking.
No, that's,
I'm
yeah, no,
asking
but again,
questions
but classified as banter back then, so it definitely wasn't.
I think he's discovered banter yet if he's popping his tits off over the Miz.
here. Where's the camera going?
That's good banter.
That's all bang on.
Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. This was great. McIntyre's
Miz should try and invade like digital exclusives. He's that desperate that
Yes.
there's like backstage interviews that nobody really watches.
I think
on-
we're out of time. He's
Yeah,
like
on
the
X.
digital exclusive. We're on about.
That'd be great.
We got that. Have I got my YouTube video on there? Yeah, it's been unlisted. Sorry. So McIntyre dominates early on. Zayn hits a moonsault off the barricade, tries for a crossbody, but McIntyre catches him and hits a great-looking vertical suplex. Zayn tries for a dive, but McIntyre catches him again and hoists him across the announce table to take us to break. We come back. Zayn dodges a charge. McIntyre posts himself, and Zayn hits the vertical suplex and a flip dive. McIntyre comes back and tries to hit the middle rope white noise, but Zayn counters with a sunset flip powerbomb for 2. This is awesome. Chants from the crowd. McIntyre wants the Claymore kick, but Zayn hits him with a blue thunder bomb for a nice 2 count too. Zayn tries an exploder in the corner, but McIntyre just grabs him and hits overhead suplexes and a neck breaker. He sets up for the Claymore. Rhea Ripley comes out. That allows Zayn to get him in with a schoolboy. McIntyre kicks out. Zayn hits an exploder into the corner, sets up for the haluva kick. Ripley jumps up on the apron, distracts Zayn, and McIntyre utilizes the distraction to hit the Claymore and get the 1, 2, 3. And Ripley smiles as McIntyre just completely blanks her and storms to the back.
The match was a success before it even happened, really, because these are the perfect characters to be fighting each other right now, especially in how they're wrestling. You know Drew can tweak what he does to be more heelish because he's massive. And when there's like that size difference, Sami Zayn's perfect at fighting from underneath. So this was destined to work as well as it did. All of Drew's stuff just felt meaner and crueler because he was doing it to Sami Zayn, let alone because this is where his personality is shifting. You could feel like you could watch his growing frustration with Raw play out in this match. So superb on those terms. I really like this development. I didn't see it coming. I had it down that Drew and Seth would be relatively clean, and I think it still will be for the most part. But they've employed a story that I really liked when I was a kid, and I think it's been done very effectively. Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect tried to mess with Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior ahead of SummerSlam 92 by saying they were in one of them's corner, building that lack of trust between these baby faces, and then sure enough, neither of them were in the pocket of the heels, and it was just a good excuse for the heels to absolutely deck them. That's probably what the Judgment Day are doing here, but they've targeted the exact right people in an injured and paranoid Seth Rollins and a guy like Drew, who is already losing the trust of his colleagues.
And they've got the briefcase as well, which adds
And
to the
it
intrigue,
benefits them to have both of them beat. So when Savage and Warrior were left down, Savage's knee was so busted up that Flair won the title back 2 weeks later. So that identical motivation exists for the Judgment Day. Meanwhile, Drew already is kind of being positioned as this guy that potentially would lean on a bit of help and pretend like he wasn't. I don't think he will. I think it will play out exactly as that, is that the Judgment Day are just using this to their advantage. But these are exactly in Seth and Drew, they've found the exact right match to tell this story, I think. And it's added, like, it was a match I was already quite hyped for, and it's one I'm even more into now.
I thought this match was really, really strong. Like, really strong. Sami Zayn just felt like he was locked in, dialed in. He felt like he's still great. He's obviously thrashed a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. When you have such an emotional connection with the fans that Sami Zayn does, you're not expecting him to do that. Oh, my God. I was going to press these nuts there. I'm obviously not going to do that.
Oh, my God.
That goddamn DDT through the ropes.
Yeah.
Or the brain buster. You're not going to get that Sami Zayn. But, my God, that sunset flip powerbomb, like the way he landed on his feet. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, this guy was reminding me that he was once the most, like, just so precise and spectacular with his even like minimal body movements like that. He was a cut above, and he sort of brought that Sami Zayn back to an extent last night, and I was genuinely amazed by his individual performance. Probably his best individual singles performance of the year, not at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I should mention as well, I'll mention it here. So there was a bit backstage later with Rollins and McIntyre. Rollins congratulates Drew on his first win as member of the Judgment Day. McIntyre's like, well, you know what, she almost cost me the match. You can see it from both sides. He got rolled up, and then he obviously benefited from her jumping on the apron. And he's like, well, you were speaking to her earlier anyway. And Rollins says, I don't need the Judgment Day to beat you. I'll see you at Crown Jewel. May the best man win. And McIntyre says, oh, don't worry, he will.
Great. Yeah. I don't know who's going to win. Well, no, that's true.
Damien
that's
Priest.
not true. Yeah, I was going to say Seth Rollins is going to win that, but I don't know who leaves with the title.
Yeah.
Nick Aldis is chatting to Katana Chance and Caden Carter, probably about how much they bloody love to have fun, them two. Postman Pierce says, I said, come and watch Raw, not chat with my superstars, please. And Nick Aldis says, hey, just having a friendly chat. He says, but I can see you're having a bit of a tough night, so I'm off. And Pierce is like, all right, bye. They shake hands. And then an emotionless, expressionless Nikki Cross walks past, and Pierce is like, bloody, I'll need a drink.
The thing with a tampering or a tapping up storyline is that the person that would accept terms under such like ugly circumstances would have to be like a real snake to actually agree to that. So
Flagrantly breaking rules left, right, and centre, you reckon?
Yeah.
Bronson Reed versus Akira Tozawa.
Skip.
Yeah, he squashed him. Enough of all that. It's now time for this.
It's short, it's crap, it's wrestling related. The 5-star review.
Nailed it.
Nah.
And this week's 5-star review is brought to you by Big Fella Thanks. Big Fella Thanks on Twitter. If you want to follow them, if you want to suggest something short, crap, wrestling related, you can do so either on
Follow them as well if you want.
on Apple Podcasts, or you can leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it.
We need the proof.
And email it to me, adam.wilborn@whatculture.com. Exactly what Big Fella Thanks has done. He writes, greetings, good gentlemen who gab graciously and go off.
Go f yourself.
Good. Love this already.
And God bless.
No. God bless my cack.
Time to suck my cock. Gab about the Graps. Love listening to your lengthy, loquacious lilts, lauding and lampooning the latest in the land of Lucha Libre. For my good stuff, it's good stuff. For my 5-star review, I dare to defer to the Dadleys to decide the dramatic dissertation being derided on this day. Surely you will select something that satisfies your search for salacious soliloquies in the section set aside for comments. Salutations, Big Fella, thanks.
It's got like 3 notifications. I'd rather...
Thanks, Big Fella, thanks.
I'd rather be unprofessional and make sure that nothing is going on.
Oh, we're doing the
yeah.
Citric notifications game. What we got?
Wife and the mother-in-law.
Nothing good from Amazon or anything. That's what we like. Any deliveries?
No, I spent all my birthday money. Spent it all.
How's your beans?
Nice. Grinding those beans.
Baked.
I've nailed the process of being a complete when it comes to coffee. It's honestly like really, that's so satisfying having that morning routine. It just feels like I've earned my fun.
So
You can start like we're on YouTube. You can start with, you know, really grinds my beans.
Yeah, it really grinds my beans. It's alliteration.
So I threw to you on this one. What with TNA coming back?
Yeah. The brief I was given was some crap TNA.
Yeah.
I don't know what this
If
was
you can
about.
find it.
Like, it was weird. Ideally, if there's any like of the knockouts in the video, that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Don't know what that was about. But yeah, it was just Kurt Angle and the Beautiful People worked a series of mixed.
There'll be comments about them, or
I mean, there could be. I left that in your capable hands. Worked a number of TV
Pretty capable, right? From what I hear.
6-person matches and sort of had great chemistry together.
why were they doing 6-person intergender stuff?
They were both just super over.
Okay.
Like Kurt was, well, you know, like he was.
Oh yeah.
He was in the zone in that era. of
very
TNA.
well
It's in the Impact Zone.
That's right.
Very
yeah,
well
That's
put.
exactly what I meant. Yeah. And the Beautiful People were super over. It was cool. TNA was great for a bit.
So Angle's walking backstage with Jeremy Borash, and he's like, "I can't find them anywhere. Are you sure they're in here?" I was like, "I can see them, Kurt. Literally through that doorway."
It's a massive locker room with a full garage gate, and they're just there. But Kurt, he's wacky. He's always like really hyper, or really angry, or really in the mood for lots of jokes in like rapid fire. It's weird.
Intense.
Yeah.
So yeah, JB says,
It's one of three eyes.
don't worry, they're in here, trust me. Angle walks in and they're prettying themselves in the mirror. I think that's fair to say. That was their gimmick.
Yeah.
And Angle's like, whoa. Are you insane? We've got a match tonight, not a beauty contest. Angelina Love is like, chill out.
Just shut up, man.
Gold muddlers. Every day is a beauty contest with beautiful people. Don't you know the marks out there pay to see us because we're hot? Velvet Sky says, yeah, we've got a reputation too, you know. And Angle says, well, I've got a reputation. I'm a badass!
It's great.
Jesus.
He like grows new muscles when he flexes. Like different bits of his traps come out.
Get your asses out of them seats, do some squats or something. Let's go. We've got a match. Get serious. Okay, let's do some squats. And Angelina Love says, JB, can you spot me? And she stands behind her and she squats down 1, 2, and then she stops. And I don't know what's going on here.
All right.
She says, JB, that better be your microphone, which is weird because the way she's doing it, if Hamlet's
Sure.
Angelina Love, if Hamlet's Angelina Love,
Yeah.
Jeremy Borash is like that, and he's got I'm holding the mic.
Right, okay.
I've never heard. I mean, he's very professional. I love Jeremy Borash, very professional, but I don't know. A secondary microphone would be weird. And Velvet Sky's like, oh, gross. And Angelina says, Velvet, get the bag, and they do the bag gimmick. But this lost me here, if I'm perfectly honest.
Right, there's no such thing as a secondary microphone.
All right.
Someone, Adam Wilborn, it's quite weird that you don't get this because you spent most of your professional career broadcasting, so you know all about microphones. You, in fact, have encountered a microphone, I would say, every single day of your life for the last 6 years?
Minimum of that.
Minimum, and you in radio.
Yeah.
That's possibly why you were so confused.
Yeah.
You've never had two.
No, I never. Always just the one.
Just the one, because you don't speak out your cock.
Huh?
I mean, you speak out your arsehole half the time, but you don't speak out your cock. Basically, she was intimating that he had an erection because she's beautiful, so beautiful that he was aroused sexually and lots of blood went in it.
That, of course. That makes so much sense now.
I didn't think about that when I thought of this. Yeah.
Should we go to the comments?
I think we're going to have to.
No, this was
This
on.
isn't live, is it, Nicola? No. All right, okay.
We're all good. We're on Daily Motion, so no comments there, but I did find some other comments regarding the beautiful people.
Where?
YouTube. Do not reflect the views of myself, Hamlet Sidgwick, Adam Nicholas, or anyone at What Culture Wrestling. Mr. Pledge of Allegiance simply writes,
Mr. Pledge of Allegiance. That sounds like one of those ironic Patriot characters on the indie scene, doesn't it?
Working WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, Mr. Pledge of Allegiance. Oh,
And God bless the United States.
He wins like the Spring Break Battle Royal.
yeah.
For America.
just writes, I used to have a massive crush on Angelina Love in 2008 to 2011.
Why are you so specific?
I also found out we are astrologically compatible. She's a Virgo and I'm a Capricorn, so I'd get into bed with her. So nice that was the catalyst.
That's
Is that
a
how that
lot.
works, is it?
That is significantly nicer and more wholesome than these comment sections. These disgusting comment sections tend to go. So hopefully, like, a new tone has been set.
Roy writes, sexy booms makes me uncomfortable.
Sexy booms.
Sexy
Microphones
boom.
again.
Microphones
Secondary
again.
microphone.
Yeah, secondary
Dropping
microphone.
into shop.
A sexy boom, yeah.
Yeah, if you see that, that's a TV no-no, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And that must be why. It's because to some people, it's like, well, I can't concentrate
Yeah.
now.
Uncomfortable. Maybe he's wearing something restrictive
Yeah.
and it's his boner that hurts.
I saw this one and I just was fascinated by it because it's not necessarily your kryptonite, but it is sort of adjacent. 2020 Den writes, Babylicious, delicious, appetizing, tantalizing. Is that a nice...
God. It's wordplay and it's gross at the same time.
It's just rhyming, isn't it?
Just rhyming in it.
Bad rhyming.
I just love that. Angelina Love. I just can't find a good man. Wait a second. 2020, what's 2020 Den written
He's
in?
got the soul of a poet.
Well, you think he might have seduced her. Wait till you hear what Mikhail had to write.
How many have we got left?
Just a couple. Nicholas knows what's coming. Mikhail writes, Hi, Aphrodite. Hand on, and then hand on my heart, bows nicely for you. Welcome to the physical world. What nice eyes you have.
Hang on. What? One more time.
He writes, Hi, Aphrodite. Hand on my heart, bows nicely for you. Welcome to the physical world. What nice eyes you have. Little Red Riding on over it.
Imagine being welcomed by that.
Just a parade of gentlers laying down their jackets, my lady.
I don't comment. Just remember going from that. Okay? These do not reflect the views. Anyone.
Oh, no.
The comment comes
I'm sure it does.
from the American Wet Dream.
He's just a coming man.
I bet he finishes the story.
The name caught my eye, the comment even more so. The final comment comes from the American Wet Dream. So just to contrast. Just to contrast.
Baby, my feet are soaking wet.
Just to contrast. Mikhail, hi Aphrodite, hand on my heart, bows nicely for you. Welcome to the physical world. What nice eyes you have. And the American Wet Dream writes, Imagine the farts that shit can rip.
No. No. Oh, God damn it. Yeah. Like what you like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, yeah?
Yeah. Dad, go and find your podcast on YouTube, kids. No, son, we can kind of get them on there.
He sometimes asks, you know.
Yeah, same.
Like, can I watch it on YouTube? No.
No,
You cannot.
sorry. This is for embarrassing your mates when you're 15.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Oh,
I'm just giving Cedric a new nightmare fuel.
oh no.
Your teenage son laughing at your dad in his 30s, laughing at yeah. Dad. Yeah. You're going to be 48 and that's going to happen. Shoot.
I don't like old men. Used to just wear like suits and be old.
Yeah.
What am I?
See, that's
What
why they didn't
am
have
I?
banter in the past. It was
That's it, yeah.
This had, you know, it's like you saw an older, they always wore the same sort of like earth toned suits. What do they do? It's on the gramophone. Like, look at this.
We're the first run of everything, yeah. Wilborn's right. There was no precedent for this before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love an old boy still getting dressed up to, imagine the farts that shit could rip, eh?
Like, hey, man. Do what you want.
Do you think what?
I also like the idea of YouTube being launched and him going, quick, American wet dream. Yes, secured it.
Get in there. There's Raw nearly finished.
It's main event time. There was some bollocks with...
One day you're going to find American Wet Dream 1.
Yeah. There was some bollocks with Alpha Academy and New Day. We have to talk about that. And Rollins and McIntyre. And then it was main event time. Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Early on. Oh, thanks to Big Fella. Thanks, by the way.
Thanks, big fella.
Thanks, big fella. Thanks.
Jay hits a dive to take us to a break. Priest in control when we come back. He hits a Falcon Arrow. They go back and forth.
Most disgusting combination of words I've ever heard in my life.
Jay hits a flying crossbody for
My lady.
Jay hits a flying crossbody for 2.
Thou the lady. Trilby.
Priest comes back with a back elbow and a clothesline. Jay blocks a choke slam and hits a Samoan drop for 2. Priest blocks a suicide dive and gives Jay a flatline onto the announce table, but Jay gets out of a razor's edge and hits a spear and an Uso splash. But before the ref can count the pin, he's too busy stopping Finn Balor to getting involved. So Jay takes him out with a dive, gets back in the ring. The ref's busy with Damian Priest. Balor sort of yanks Jay into the ropes, kind of crotches him on the middle rope, and he turns around into a South of Heaven chokeslam from Damian Priest. 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Balor hits Jay with a coup de grace. They grab chairs, but here comes a limping Cody Rhodes. Chucks Balor into the barricade, hits Priest with a chair, goes after Priest's leg, but Balor saves him, and Jay and Cody embrace to close out this show.
You could sort of feel in the match, like I'm a Jey Uso guy, and I think Damian Priest in there with the right person can be great. This match wasn't that. What's the point?
That's the point.
Well,
This is all right.
We've been defeated by that, haven't we? Yeah, a little bit underwhelming. This, like these are two wrestlers that are clearly being positioned for more matches like this, main events.
Imagine that.
Bitch.
Is that what John Legend was talking about when he wrote that song?
Well, yeah, because Banter wasn't around then,
Yeah.
so he was.
Imagine.
All the farts.
Shut up, man. Make this sick. Yeah, this match was fine, wasn't it?
Not good enough, I don't think. Two proper, like, in their mind, like, main event prospects, how much have they got at the top of the card, Jey? So it's massively over still. Like, that entrance they love shooting, like, he's Steve Austin with the arm stuff. Like, it looks great. Sort of, if you like the Fed, you want to be in that crowd. But
disturbing truth behind the Usos, though, isn't it? They're not that good.
They're
over.
Yeah.
The way, like, an incredible time. I think they were better. I think they've peaked. I think they've worked out what works for them. And actual, like, really strong, I don't know, creative or intense, just any kind of in-ring prowess they don't have. I think they're like, this is a much better place for them. Obviously,
yeah,
they are incredibly over, apart from when the bell rings sometimes. But they used to be really quite good, like little mechanics.
They have totally worked me.
That's so patronising. They used to be really good. I mean, can you remember Usos versus Harper and Rowan 2 out of 3 falls?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And they had loads of them. A lot of the times they were buried on pre-shows and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really into both characters. Like, Jimmy's really won me over on SmackDown. The match, like, as much as I'm into the idea of the match, I do worry about the in-ring being like 2 LA Knights fighting each other, and you just think, I've been so hot, this is so cool, this is so great. The bell rings.
It's going to be a DIY explodes match structure with LA Knight level work. It's going to be horrendous.
Could be terrible, couldn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't not be engaged with the story. I'm trapped. Trapped by the Fed.
Read book.
God, no. Well, although if I was going to, the problem is, Sid, right? If I was going to read a book, I'm very, very picky.
You're right, okay.
So I need, like, bang on 120,000 words. I need
I might have a book for you. Wait, but it depends on what you say
next. Work out, because I need my writing to be passionate and insightful.
And I've got a new caveat. I only like my books coming from holes.
Well.
So does that
Oh, my God.
So does the American Wet Dream, probably.
120,000 passionate and insightful words all about the rise of AEW. Up the copy straight away. Buy it. It's really good. I worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
And if you live in the world, you can buy it on Amazon. Becoming All Elite. The rise of AEW. Back in the hole you go.
Out to the world.
Whatculture.com/tickets as well for tickets to our live show.
So the alien can't get a copy, is that what you're saying? Maybe that's why the alien came to Earth. He went to meet the dealer, and then he wanted to buy Sidgwick's book.
Hangman Page's defensive stance that he had an abnormally large penis and insistence that his friends must agree and agree often was priceless. That's a bit of it's magic right there.
Oh, we should do that.
I told you they didn't have banter in the past.
Whatculture.com/tickets if you want to come to our live show. Let us know your thoughts on everything, either in the comments section or on X at WhatCulture WWE, where you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
Michael Hamflet.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
At M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Thanks once again to Big Fella. Thanks. Please do send us more 5-star reviews. But for now, this has been the Raw review. My thanks to the other two Dadley Boyz. I'm a Dadley Boy as well. Thanks to Adam Nicholas, our producer. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.